Okay, in this video I'm going to show you the creation of a secondary zone on my second domain controller's DNS server here. So the first thing that we need to do is to create the primary zone on the domain controller called domain DC1. So if I do new zone, click next. So this is going to be a primary one, and I'm going to store it in Active Directory, replicate it to all DNS servers. So this one I'm going to call, for example, second test zone .szz, for example, and click on next. And this one I'm just going to allow both, just for the purposes of this demonstration. So I click next. So that's created that there straight away. If I do a new host and call it, for example, test ZZZ, okay, so, and then the IP address is going to be 188 and that host. Okay, so that tells you that that was successfully created. So we've got an A record there on our primary zone. So what we need to do now is we need to head over to the second domain controller where I've got my other DNS server, and then we do on the forward lookup zones new zone. Now here, this is the bit where you choose secondary zone, and just note that it actually grays out the option of having that stored in Active Directory, because that's not possible with a secondary zone. So you click next. Now the zone name here, second test zone .szz. Okay, next, IP address of the master server. So this is where you've just created the primary one. So I know mine is ending in 10, so it's up here. You can see this is dc1.corp.lan, and it's validated OK with a nice green tick there, so that's fine. Click next and finish. So this has now successfully created the second test zone, and this is now going to be a secondary zone on the second DNS server. Now you'll notice here straight away it comes up with this sort of rather fierce looking cross here saying zone not loaded by DNS server, and you can click refresh there all you like and it won't actually load it. So what we need to do is we needed to go to the we need to go to this one and choose properties. So we're going to do the properties of the primary zone first, and I'm going to add in another name server here because we are interested in having the secondary zone on the DC2. So if I click add here, I can do dc2.corp.lan, resolve, okay, and then OK. So you can see that's been added in there. 10.0.0.20 is my DC2, and then on the zone transfers here I need to choose the option to allow zone transfers, which by default is not enabled, so you need to check that box. And I'm going to do servers listed on the name servers tab because I've already added that DC2 onto that name server. So if I click apply and then OK. So now if we head back over to the secondary zone here on the second DNS server, and then what I need to do now is I need to right click and do transfer from master. So that's then going to transfer that information from the primary zone here up down to the secondary zone there. So if I click refresh now, you can actually see that that then pulls down that information from the secondary one. The primary zone on DC1 is actually now visible in the secondary zone on DC2. You can see there, this was the one we added earlier, test ZZZ, and it's got an IP address there that I put in, 10.0.0.188. So that then shows how we do the secondary zones.